How you doing, everybody? Hey, Geezer, and true fears, twofer. Hey, Doctor A and B, Williams watches. Oh, good. Um, I'll wait for a few more people before we get going. Hi, Donald. Hi, Bruce. I just I just sent you a note, Bruce. Hey, Geezer. Ah, all right. Um, well, I got an email uh, from Wooten Lonan and Kalen today, and it was one, just sort of a nice one. They're still, I think they'd still like to work with us, so that's good. Still haven't heard back from Aganor, and looking forward to it. I hope they've got when I found out that when I sent an email, I expect one right away is that when you have a business, a watch business, especially like Aganor, you sort of got other kinds of things you're doing and emailing us right away. But what I found with them is that when we're up, we're up. So that's good. Oh, hey, Mark. Hey, 73 Mop. How are you today? Oh boy. Okay. Um. All right. This is what I've been thinking about. Believe it or not, I'm when it comes to business, I'm very practical. For a number of years, I had my little publishing company and did different things with it. It actually and then became more of a production company because I was developing software and we were publishing books too. And one of the things that I learned in that process is that you really have to have a good sequence set up. For some, it sounds like it's a really simple kind of thing to do. Well, we'll just do this, we'll do this, we'll do this. But when you're dealing with a group the way we are, spread all over the world, um, I think we have to do it like we'll do a step and then stop, and everybody sort of regroup, and then we'll go to the next step, regroup, and so forth. Hi, Dominic. Um, Yeah, so actually, if I had the gang members that I used to hang out with, they just have the top button buttoned and everything else unbuttoned. To me, I like it nice and loose. This is warm and comfy at the same time. Boy, the weather changed here. All of a sudden, we're back in the winter. We're just it's May, and it thinks it's early spring. Crazy weather. Um, so anyway, this is sort of what I wanted to talk with you guys about because I plan to go forward with this. Hi, Mark, but we have to do it in a deliberate way, and we have to stop at each step, make sure everybody's on the same page, and then go to the next step. Now, let me sort of pass on of how I envision it, and then get feedback from you. The first thing I think we need to do is once we decide on a single or multiple movements to buy, we got to wait until everybody's got their movement, okay? And then we have to decide on the case, and same process, but we don't decide on the case waiting for movements or people who said, well, I want to get them all, okay, and if we could all have them together, then we could put them together. That would be one way of doing things if you had a company that had a lot of clients waiting for your product. Where the products are going to be for ourselves, and I think that if we take it systematically and sort of tiered to stop at every level, and then get everybody back together, and then go on to the next step, I think we can do it pretty well. Um, Right now, at least in my own mind, I I really like the idea of the retrograde. If we had that retrograde with the retrograde minutes and jumping hours, I think that would be fantastic. Um, I think it'd be a very interesting watch to have, and one that $25,000 watch, depending on what the rest of our expenses would be a lot less than that, and at the same time have really a quality watch, very limited edition ourselves. And, all right, so let's just say that, okay? They come back, we'll say that Agenhor gets back to us. They say, okay, here's something within a range that we think we can afford. Now, then the next step is going to be getting it in our midst, so to speak, and figure out how they want to do that. Um, my own preference would be is that we could all send any funds directly to Agonar, and we'll get a list of people who've done that, and then have them delivered wherever they are. Now, whether they want to do that or not, I don't know. They may say, "Look, that's we're not a retail business, and so we'll get this and we'll send it to one of you, and then so that may happen too." But I don't think that we can say, like we have in the past, say, okay, who would want one, and we sort of do a head count. I certainly couldn't do it that way, but we're going to be dealing with a certain number, so we're probably going to have to say, okay, you're going to deal with the financial. I'll send you the money, and then you send it to Agenor, and then we'll get the watches and so forth. The 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 tough part is I don't think we should give them a number until we gather whatever it's going to cost us. And here's why. Let's say that for any number of reasons, someone really wants to be involved and so forth, and something comes up and they just can't. Okay. I mean, that happens. We all know that. Something that we run into that while we'd like to do it, something stopped us. And given the situation of this pandemic we're in, it could be a lot of different things. I would rather go smaller than larger because if we go through one round, we can always do a second round at some other point in time, and either with the same watch with the people who couldn't do it the first time, or do it with a different watch. This is the kind of thinking that was going on that I've got. Um, Forbin, it's not. Yeah. Um, let's get something helpful from you, Forbin. You sound like a guy who's done business before. I know some of you have, and you don't want to hear it just from me. Okay. Hey, GMT Master, how's it going, Rich Buddy? Retrograde comps is what attracts me to Vacheron mainly. Oh, okay. I Forbin, yeah, that would be the one hander. Um, enjoy the cup of lap song. Okay. Um, all right. So that was sort of my way of looking at it. Hi, Junior. How you doing, Blake? How are you? Um, what? Let's hear what you have to say. Okay. Mm. Boy, we guys, it just was. Yesterday, I was out working in the yard all day, or a big hunk of it, and today it's just sort of gloomy. Um, hey, Sean, how are you? Um, what do you guys think? I mean, it does that sound like a way to proceed? Sort of go it to a certain point, stop, gather ourselves, and then go on to the next point, rather than trying to get everything at once. Top button cholo style. I like to think of it as Vato style, Blake. Essay. Well, suddenly you guys are quiet, you know. Hey, Doug Pug. Okay, one day you turn around and it's summer. Next day you turn around and it's fall. Frank Sinatra. Thank you. I'm not building a watch with you, but that process sounds logical. Okay. I I tell you, Rich buddy, if it said Rolex, I bet you would. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm retired, truth fears. This is this is something and twiddling with my Aurora Optima demonstrator, I think it's a good way to proceed. We'll get the movement dimensions to get the case. Exactly, Mark. Yeah, that was what I was thinking too. My opinion is starting with a smaller group is the first best thing. Yeah, Mark, a smaller group. Well, the thing is that if we have, let's say, we'd save 500 euro or 500 Swiss francs or $500 or whatever, with let's say having uh, 10 people, okay, and then each one would be $500 less. That we putting something like that together, and then then we have it, and it is like I said, the I took a look at the oh, what was it that Satori guy? Yeah, he's looks like he's got talent, but I don't know if you checked that out or not. But they look a lot like other things I've seen, and that's okay because they look good, but not really. I don't know. I didn't see any. Oh, what is it? The enamel dialing. The prices were very high. So anyway, I think what we need to do is that's why we need to stop. Is that if we do that, then we can sort of really stop and consider it rather than saying, okay, we're going to set it up like a slide and we'll have this, and this, which may be more efficient, but I think with this group it may be a little bumpy. Okay. I used to work in my uncle's Pioneer Chicken when I was 15. Pioneer Chicken, yeah. Hey, Eddie. Um, okay, you guys are off on, you're talking food now. You're lost forever. Ah, geez. Oh, you guys are in post lockdown. That's nice. Um, what we found out was that in our state, the number of hospitalizations have been going down. Everything else was going up, the number of deaths, the number of cases, and so forth. But the number of hospitalizations was going down, and now that turned around and it's going back up again. So we're I'm not going too far anywhere. The other thing is too that I was thinking is that we've got these guys who are trying to get work done, at Agenhor and these other places in the middle of a pandemic, which also is sort of a fudge factor that we've got to put in there. Yeah, that's true, Rich buddy. I think you're right. Hey, Joe, Paddock 5204. I don't know that one. Um, hey, geezer. Uh, it means a lot of things, I think. Um, Yeah, Dominic, that's what I'm thinking too. It's really funny after looking at that, what's the name of that thing? Um, Satori and something or other. Um, when I After I looked at that, um, eating time. Let me see. How's it? After I took a look at that Satori, that French company, um, that I was surprised how expensive it was for just the dial and the case. Satori, that's the one, Satori Ballard. Yeah, their stuff is good, but and I don't think we want to get a real expensive movement and then go cheap on the case. But Satori Ballard, I'm not too sure. It would depend, I guess, perhaps on the dial that we got. Yeah, yeah. I think that looks good too, Mark. I like the teardrop. Among other things, I don't have one like that. I've got a lot of different lugs, including those swivel lugs on my Harry Winston and the bow and crown on that Beauvais, but nothing like those teardrop lugs. I think they're cool looking. Okay, so what else you got? Deep state. What is that? Oh God. People I think have gone really crazy about certain things. Your spelling is way better than mine. I like to, as long as I feel that I've spelled the majority of the words correctly, I find that a success. I seen a channel similar hour window and retro minutes. Okay. Oh, Chanel. I think are you talking about Chanel, Dominic? Don't hey crappy. Um, oh man, crazy. Um, yeah, the thing is that until we hear back from Maginot, we're sort of like sort of hanging around. What's my wrist size? It's 7.5, geezer. Hey, Junior. Oh, God. You guys talking about gates for? Um, can we talk about goats? No, Eddie, we can't. Um, but I did come up with another name that we might consider. I had a really um let me write it down because I'll mispronounce it and it'll sound terrible, okay? Let's see. Okay, here's a name that for all of the goat fans out there, here's a name, okay? Bruce, you'll appreciate this. And I'll explain why. Okay, what do you think? Kashmir Der. Der. That's hour in French. Cashmere, my goat neighbors are cashmere goats. It would sort of be an in name that you guys would understand, but most other people wouldn't. What do you think? Cashmere, cashmere, or and it would look. You don't want to put a goat on there, not after spinning what we're spinning. Okay, good. Cashmere strap? No, 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 no. Just for a name, the Cashmere Hour. It sounded like something that was very smooth, and that just I don't know why it stuck with me. And since I really have been working. Let me see how I'm supposed to pronounce it. Yeah, it would be Cashmere Viva goats. Okay, you guys got excited about goats. Some of you haven't been dating, I can tell that. No, not velvet, but that's okay. The well, it is hump day, Williams watches, so just a name, Mark. I mean, like uh this is Felix. Okay, it's the name of the watch. Just hey Roman. Ooh, Roman, that sounds even better. Wow, look what Roman has. There, oh God, I wish there was someone who could pronounce French. Um, yeah, I like that. Lower de Cash. Yeah, it sounds a bit pretentious, which I like even better. Thanks. Okay. All right. So that's one of the things that we've got to wait for on that. Uh, one of the things that I did today before we got started here, some of you may have seen it. I I was I think at some time I'd done a bunch of looking at a bunch of watches, and I came across the Vacheron Constantin Royal Eagle. I think is the name, Royal Eagle. And then I was poking around with some stuff about it because it's sort of an unusual watch from the early 2000s. And then I found out that not only did they have, I guess the ones in non-precious metal are chronographs. And so I was thinking, I bet those you can get some pretty good prices on those chronographs. And so I thought, well, I'll put together a little vest pocket video about some of these luxury sports chronographs that are more affordable. And then I found another one by Audemars Piguet called the Millenary Chronograph. I can never, I don't know why. That's another one of those names that I always get tangled up in. But the Audemars Piguet Millenary Chronograph has all of the sort of achieved charm, I'll put it that way, of that whole millinery line, and then they put a chronograph in it, and that one I'd really never seen before, and so I put them up there. And then when I was thinking about it, I thought, well, maybe Polo S has one, and they did. They have a Polo S chronograph, and those things were heavily discounted. So I thought I'll put that in there too. So I was looking at those three chronographs, not having a sports chronograph still. And of those three, I don't know. I liked all of them, but something about that millinery. Maybe it's because I don't have an Audemars Piguet. I used to have one, but sold it because it was too small. And so the first thing I checked out on that millinery was the size, and it's 41 millimeters, which is plenty big enough as far as I'm concerned. For what I have, I thought, well, that might be a cool watch too. Trouble is, I got too many cool watches that I want. So, yeah, yeah, Bruce, that Royal Eagle is a real tempting watch to get. A rainbow, you can a rainbow Daytona. Well, yeah, I mean, the thing about a rainbow Daytona when I go to those Liberace concerts, what do they call those? I forgot. Anyway, that's where I really need that Daytona. Yeah. I Mark, I don't try to. I just what in wearing watches, um, what I would I just put on what's coming, what's next on the rotation. Um, oh, hey, something. Round 2, can we use, Eigengraph? Man, I'd love to. It would be I don't know what they would charge for an Augengraph. I had those the watches that they have with a Augengraph are about, like, $40,000 or something, but wouldn't that be cool? Yeah, that would be an interesting one, Donald. Hey, Mark. Yeah. Oh, alright, what are you up to, geezer? Oh, okay, let's see. Oh, hey, level 11, what's up? You got on your Orion today. Cool watch. Yeah, it probably does in us something that the thing is that we don't know. Uh, if we ended up getting the the Agonor, I don't know what they would call that movement. They probably have a number for it. If we got an Agonor movement that we could afford too, um, I don't know. Maybe they have sort of a baby uh Eigengraph or one that like a monoraptor pony. You only get one hand on that one. Let's see. Yeah, I tell you, they also invest something. They probably cost more in your car and your house too. Yeah, that Royal Eagle is it's an interesting watch. Um, it would look like um, a very compact chronograph, and that idea I like. But then you couldn't see the dials. Not that anyone ever used it. Hey Al, how you doing? Uh, what? It is something. Do I look like an Australian that lives in a cardboard box? A really expensive cardboard box. Oh man. Hi Hans, how you doing? Oh boy. Today I haven't had any breakdowns, knock on wood, of like the sound of the video goes out, and no, I'm really tempting fate with that. Oh, or things in the Rhine River. Who lives in the Rhine River? Hans, do you live in the Rhine? That was oh, geez. Okay, well, um, so let me sort of summarize where we are today. Um, yeah. All right. So the sequence that we talked about earlier is sort of like make sure we got everything on one level of it before we go on to the next one. Okay. There's going to be sort of sub levels too, because I don't even want to order a movement unless we've got financial commitment. Because they put together something and put together a deal for us, and somebody says, "Oh, I changed my mind." Well, and that can happen. And so the thing to do is get a financial commitment before we go ahead and make an order. I know that's not easy to do in terms of your mindset, but given what we're trying to do, I wouldn't want to do it any other way. I don't know. That's going to be problematic, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Anyway, so that's one of the things. The other thing is, from what I heard from Wooten Lannon and Kalen, they're still interested in going ahead. I checked out the Satori and Ballard. They're okay. I wasn't overwhelmed, but it's a possibility that we can talk about. But I don't know, something about the watches look like every single, you know, crowd-funded watch I've seen. That was my impression. Um, and so that's where we are right now. Okay. Hi, howdy. Okay, you guys have a conference going on. That's great. Oh, we're good here. Okay, guys. Well, listen, I'm going to go. I know some of you will be going back to work, and it's a good thing for you. But still be safe. We're we're getting hit. Well, I think with a sort of a second wave here in the U.S. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be a third or a fourth because just sort of going along doing crazy stuff. All right. Take care, and maybe we'll hear something more tomorrow.